A very good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this very important session, and I hope you're doing absolutely fine. I can see a lot of people already waiting for this session. Hello, Astha. Welcome to the class. Jasmine, Ankur, Rishabh, Manav, Jasmine again. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this very important session. Please do let me know if I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. I hope I am clearly audible to you all and I am visible as well to all the people out there. If yes, please do let me in the comment section. Surely. So it's good to see you all first of all in the session. And let me tell you one thing, that a very good evening everyone once again. And this session is a very important session. I don't need to repeat this thing. I'm sure you all are aware of this fact. Now, what makes this session so much important is, let me give you a brief idea. In this session, we are going to have a very much mixed quiz of economy. And how many questions we are targeting? Over the next 1.5 hours, or I would say 1 hour 45 minutes, we are going to target 40 MCQs. So in this session, you are getting 40 MCQs from various important topics of economy. So all these 40 MCQs, you will be getting answers and detailed explanation that why is that particular answer. So you will have a lot of factual as well as concept based MCQs. This is what we are going to target today. I hope the idea is very much clear. So you should be, looking forward to this session. Okay, Anukriti, Ashdeep, Navneet. So I can see a lot of old students and a lot of new students as well in this very class. First of all, thank you so much once again for joining the session. Please make sure you add this session to your liked videos also. Hit the like button, add this session to your liked video so that you can later on as well revise this particular session by going to the liked videos. And you'll be getting the PDF in the Telegram channel, so don't worry about that. You certainly will be getting. For the people who are preparing exclusively for the defense exams, they surely can join our Telegram channel. Defence Pariksha for the PDF as well, and you can explore our app as well, which is Defence Pariksha. But if you're not preparing for the defense exams, don't worry, you'll be getting the PDF on the other channel as well. So that's precisely the point. Let me just present this particular thing. Okay, so I've put it in the pinned message, the Telegram channel for the defense aspirants. Okay, so again, thank you so much first of all for joining this session. This session is going to be greatly beneficial for all of you. Raman, welcome. Navneet, all the people out there. First of all, again, welcome to all the people out there who are watching this session live, first of all. And even if you're watching this recorded later on, then also thank you so much for your time. And I can assure you that this is going to be a superb session for all of you. Okay, without further ado, let's start that. Hanji Sahaj, welcome to the class. And okay, yeah, there we go with the first question on your screen. This is question number 1, as you can see on your screens. All right. The first question says, we have got WTO, we have got RBI, we have got IMF, we have got BRD. So tell me that how can we match them? I think the options are not visible by chance. Okay, I'll give you the options, don't worry. So, okay, how do we match that? You simply tell me. You'll match A with which one? You'll match B with which one? C and D. So by chance options are not visible just because of some reason. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now options are visible. If you can see that. Here are the options A, B, C, D. What is the right answer? Tell me what exactly is the right answer to this question. I hope the options are very much visible to you guys. Please answer, everyone. All of you try to answer this very question. Good job. So A, B, C, D, what is the right answer? Now think about it. Simply, we'll start with the easiest one. Which one is easy? Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is what? It is the Central Bank of India. It's very much easy. So B4 we have to match. So B4, B4. So we can eliminate this and this. So either answer is B or answer is D. Then we move ahead. And then, we can go with the easier one. For example, WTO. What is WTO doing? It's a multilateral trade negotiating body. So A2. So A2, A2. Okay. Now we have to look at IMF and BRD. So let me tell you one thing. If we talk about IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, what will International Monetary Fund be doing? It is going to provide the short-term loans to solve the BOP problems. Bank of Restructured Development is not going to do that. It is the IMF which will be doing that. So C1. If we match C with 1, we are getting D as the right answer. This is the right answer. Is that clear? And one remaining option, if we choose BRD, that is, World Bank basically. So reconstruction and development loans it provides. So yes, D. 3 we have to do. So this is perfectly the right answer to this question. I hope it's absolutely clear, everyone. So see, answer is not important. What is important is how you are reaching to the answer. So such questions are going to be very much important for your exam as well. So please pay proper attention to these questions. All right. So I'm hopeful that these are the questions which are going to pave way for your overall success. That's a question number 1 only. I hope you have got an idea that how we have reached to this answer. Rishabh, Rupinder, Raman, Anukriti, Sahaj, everyone. I hope you're getting the point. Okay. Now we move to the next question. That's a question number 2. Now the question number 2 again is a very interesting one. It says a market in which there are a large number of firms, homogeneous products, infinite elasticity of demand and no control over prices by the firm. It is known as what? Tell me. What exactly will it be known as? That is what my question is. Now let me tell you one thing. How we have to answer this? You have to break this question into various parts. For example, it says there are large number of companies or there are large number of firms. If the number of firm is very much high, it can never be oligopoly. Remember this thing. Because in oligopoly, the firms are few, very few. For example, oil market. Very few countries have oil. So in oligopoly, it is very much few. So it certainly cannot be the answer. Step by step, you have to move ahead. In such question, the trick is that you have to go ahead step by step. Only if you are doing that, then you will be able to answer. Okay. Now remember this thing, that moving ahead, they are having very much homogeneous product. So the product is not having any differentiation. They're very much same product which they are selling. Now, it certainly cannot be a monopolistic competition because differentiation is not there. So of course, by all this, we have to pick that it is basically example of a perfect competition. Remember, if the number of firms are 1, that is monopoly. If the number of firms are few, very less, that is oligopoly. If there are many firms, then that will be competition. Now, is it a perfect competition or monopolistic competition? It depends on whether the product is homogeneous or it is differentiated. Are you getting that? So like Nike sneakers. Sneakers a lot of companies make, but Nike sneakers stand apart. So that is why it is an example to a great extent of monopolistic competition. Because in that very sector, they have the monopoly. Bikes a lot of companies make, but Royal Enfield or Bullet is just one company which makes that. It is having a very strong monopoly in that market. I hope you're getting the idea. So monopolistic competition and perfect competition is different, because in monopolistic competition, people are having a niche product on which they are playing. So that's why D is the right answer. Homogeneous product. Imperfect competition actually is not a very, frequently used thing, let me tell you. So, there's no exact definition of that. So imperfect competition is nothing, because it's a mix and match of a lot of things. So basically you should know about monopoly, oligopoly, this monopolistic competition, perfect competition. So imperfect competition is a mix of so many things. So as simple as that. Okay. I hope you've got the point correctly. Let's move ahead then. Yeah, D is the right answer. I have one more question like that. Let's answer this one as well. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly. So you have to tell me how many pairs are correctly matched. So basically you have to tell me, the pairs which are correctly matched. Which pair is correctly matched, you have to tell me. So second pair, third pair, 1 and 3 or 1 to 3. So you have to tell me which pair given is correctly matched. Answer this one, then I'll give you a better explanation to that. Very important. Yeah. Think about it. Now, okay, let's see one by one. First one I would read, perfect competition. Now, in perfect competition, firms cannot set prices at supernormal profits because it's a competition. In competition, you cannot earn big profits. Always remember this thing. So, there are numerous products, there are numerous companies which are producing identical products. So, it is saying that you are earning supernormal profits. This is incorrect. Only in oligopoly or monopoly you can do that. In perfect competition, it is not at all possible. Remember this thing. Second one, monopolistic competition. Single firm control the market and can influence. Now, when we talk about single firm, it is not monopolistic competition. It is the monopoly. It is the monopoly or monopoly. This is again incorrect. But yeah, oligopoly, a few firms are dominating market. For example, oil market. Oil oligopoly. This is correct one. So I would say B is the right answer. Are you getting this point or not? Please be very much honest with me. Are you understanding this? So we have to understand if a single firm is playing, that is monopoly. If there are few firms playing, that is oligopoly. So third one is correct. Second one is incorrect. And in the first one, you have to just understand that producer cannot earn supernormal profit in the perfect competition because the margins are very much small in the perfect competition. Always remember this thing. And in the monopolistic competition, what happens? There are so many firms, but they have differentiated products. Again, like I gave you the example of Nike. So there are so many companies making shoe, but Nike is having that edge. Nike is having that advantage. That's the point. So I'm giving you some explanation. Please read that. Pair 1 is incorrect. Pair 2 is incorrect, but pair 3 is correct. That's why pair 3 is correct only. Okay. So remember this thing. Very much important point, beta, that in perfect competition, firms cannot set prices or earn supernormal profit. This is one thing. And remember, there are numerous firms. They produce identical products and the price is determined by the force of supply and demand. Like Verka is also selling milk. Mother Dairy is also selling milk. So Verka cannot set so many big prices. 1-2 rupees difference can be there, but they cannot have maximum difference because people will shift from Verka to Mother Dairy. So this is a very important thing. And you have to understand this point very much carefully, that in monopolistic competition, market have many firms, but each is providing differentiated products. So this is the main difference. In the perfect competition, their products are almost similar, but in monopolistic competitive market, they have some differentiated products. Are you getting it? So this is very much important point we have to understand. And oligopoly, I have already told you this thing. I hope now this concept is 100% clear to you guys. Chale, I'm glad that it is clear. Perfect. So my intention is that with every question, that concept has to be super clear to you guys. It should be 100% clear, and then only it makes some sense. All right, moving ahead. This is a diagram which tells you about that. For example, number of firms. If it is 1, that is monopoly. If they are very less, that is few, oligopoly. If there are many, then it is of 2 types. Because if the product is identical, then it is perfect competition. If the product is specialized product, then it is a monopolistic competition. Please remember this thing very much carefully. These 4 terms which will help you a lot in such questions. All right. So moving ahead, let's move to the next question now. Perfect. Okay, next question, better loads. That's going to be question number 4 for you. Now that's comparatively easy. Golden revolution, grey revolution, yellow revolution, black revolution. So you have to pick the right answer. That is the question number 4 for the day. We have to go to 40 questions today, and this is the 1/10 of the marathon for today. Anyways, so tell me. Now this is quite an easy one. Why? If I talk about one by one, we'll be doing that. Now, black revolution. What is black? Oil seeds are not black, honey is not black, but petroleum product, that is crude, is black. Hai na? So D3 we can pick. D3, D3. So B or C can't be the answer. Either it is A or it is D. One thing is, Very much sure. So this way, I'm sure, you can ultimately answer such questions, because ultimately, what is important? Only one thing is important, that you have to have a decent level of clarity on, how exactly are we going to reach to the right answer. It's as simple as that. So anyways, if we talk about, let's talk about yellow revolution. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the gray revolution. So if I talk about the gray revolution, it is related to fertilizer. Clear? So B4, if we pick, A is the right answer. But still, for the surety, if we pick golden revolution, it is related to honey, basically, horticulture, honey, that is the one. And yellow revolution, because of the mustard, yellow revolution will be what? Yellow revolution is going to relate to oil seed production. So of course, A is the right answer. A is certainly the right answer. This one was quite easy. So I'm sure you can answer that easily. Okay. The next question is very much conceptual. Let's move to that. Next question is very much conceptual. Bete. Question number 5 for the day. Let's do it. Question number 5, this is. It says, which of the following is not an example of FDI? So give me a quick answer. This one is easy. Give me a quick answer. Which of the following is not an example of FDI? I'm sure you know about the FDI, investment made by the foreign company in already existing company, of another nation by setting up a subsidiary, or, they're taking 10% plus stake. They're having good ownership. They're having controlling rights as well. So these are the things. Now, when I talk about FDI, the acquisition of existing textile, it is FDI. Creation of wholly owned business firm overseas, this is FDI. Construction of new steel plant overseas, this is FDI. But when you purchase bonds or shares or stocks of a pharma company overseas, this is basically FII. When, they're just purchasing the bonds, they're just purchasing the stocks. This basically is not precisely the FDI. So C has to be the right answer. What is the right answer? C is the right answer, because the question is about not an example. So this is not an example of FDI. Now that is a very basic question. If you have read about the FDI, you will be able to answer that. So I don't think you need an explanation for that. Very much easy question for you to answer. So C here has to be the right answer. Clear, Eji? So I'm glad that so many students are answering the questions. That was question number 5 for you. So you will be getting it all in the PDF. Don't worry about that. So always remember, FDI is basically to obtain substantial interest in the enterprise located in a different country. That is the FDI. But in FPI, FII, we are seeing only stocks or the bonds are obtained by a particular company in another, country. So that's how it is. Question number 6 we do. Question number 6 for you guys. Please try to see that. Which of the following action can increase the money supply in a particular economy? Now this is a very conceptual question. Which of the following have the power to increase the money supply? That's the question. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Reduction in the repo rate, purchase of the government security by the central bank, government borrowing from the central bank, or selling of the government securities by the central bank. So which can increase the money supply? Has the potential to increase the money supply, rather I would say. Very good. So I hope you are in a position to answer such questions, because these are the very conceptual kind of questions. Good job. Yeah. Now think about it. When I talk about reduction of the repo rate, or any repo rate or any other rate, any ratio also, if the reduction is there, this means it will increase the money supply. If the government is purchasing the government securities, and what will happen? They are giving out money. So this will increase the money supply. Even if the government is borrowing from central bank, that is RBI, it leads to more currency printing. More Indian currency is printed. And since more Indian currency is being printed, it will increase the money supply for sure. But when the government sells money security, what will happen? It basically sucks the rupee from the market. And we don't want that to happen in this scenario. So this is incorrect. So that's why 1, 2, 3 is correct. So B is the right answer. Always remember this thing. When the government sell government security, it is getting the money. So this will decrease the money supply. And when the government is buying the government security, it is doing what? It is giving off the money. So remember that 4 eliminate, but 1, 2, 3 are correct. So better remember, this is always going to, increase the money supply, because when the government borrow from the central bank, what will happen? More currency is being printed by the central bank in order to balance that, and that is going to increase the money supply. So third one is always there. Is that clear? So that is why we have to pick B as the right answer. Very important question this is. B is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. But any doubts you have, please do let me know. Is this clear or not, everyone? I hope this idea is absolutely clear to all the people out there. So even if you have small, doubts, you surely can ask me. Got the point? Everyone? Okay. So that is why 1, 2, 3 is the right answer. Question number 7, let's do it. Which of the following items are included in the India's Forex reserves? When we talk about India's Forex reserves, what all are we going to be including into that? India's Forex reserves. Tell me. Good job. So I am hopeful that you are in a position to understand this point. I hope in the last question things are clear. Foreign currency assets, special drawing rights, and loans from the foreign countries. Now, loans from foreign country we don't put in the Forex reserves. Foreign currency assets, golds, gold of course, and loan from the World Bank. Again, loans we are not going to keep. Foreign currency asset, loan from the World Bank. Again, we don't want to put loans there, but read the option B. When we talk about the B, foreign currency asset, yes. Gold holding, yes. And special drawing rights, yes. So this is going to be the right answer. Remember, question number 7, the answer is certainly B. Whenever you answer, please make sure you mention the question as well. So, bete, which of the following items are included in the Forex reserve? So, yes, we are going to include these items in the Forex reserves. Always be very clear. Got the point? This is a very basic question which I expect every one of you to answer specifically. So, this is a very precise question which I am asking. I hope you have got this point. Anyways, so, okay, so welcome Bandeep, Sumandeep, Rupinder, Upasna, Arsh, Manisha, Sachin, Mandeep, Rishabh, all the people. So thank you so much for attending the session, and I am hopeful that this session again is going to add a lot of value to your revision. So ultimately these sessions are very good for revision. So 7th question is done. So I hope now you know that these are the part of that. B is the right answer. So every time you have to keep this in your mind that foreign currency assets are there, gold is there, special drawing rights are there, and reserve position in the IMF. So these basically are the 4 components of Forex reserves of India. That's the point you got to understand. And it keeps on going up and down. So I don't need to tell you the exact number that what is the Forex reserves. You just need to understand which items are a part of Forex reserves. So these are the 4 items which are a part of Forex reserves of India being maintained by Reserve Bank of India. So who maintains the Forex reserves? RBI maintains the Forex reserves, and RBI also tells us that how much Forex reserve do we have in every 14 days. So RBI gives you the exact data that how much Forex reserves do we have. So that is also a great thing we understand. Next one. Okay, 8th question. Let's do it. So now this is an easy one. Open market operation. What exactly are the open market operations all about? Borrowing by scheduled banks from the RBI. So let me tell you, this is related to repo operations. Okay, and lending by commercial banks to industry and the trade, this is nothing. Purchase and sale of government security by RBI, yeah, this is the right answer. So when we talk about selling and buying of the government securities by the RBI, that is precisely what we known as open market operation. So this is a very precise question we need to understand. Very basic question we have to be answering. So I hope C is the right answer. You all know that this is a very easy question. This is a very, very easy question we have to be understanding precisely. I hope this point is 100% clear to you guys, all of you. So C is 100% right answer to this question. Okay. So let's now move to the next question. And always remember one thing, that in case of inflation, government will always be selling the government securities. And in case government want to stimulate the economy, government is going to buy the government securities also. This is a very important point. Perfect. Now, moving ahead. Question number 9, let's talk about. Now, this is a very interesting one. LFPR, that is labor force participation rate, UR, unemployment rate, and WPR, that is worker population ratio. So now you have to tell me which of the following pair is correctly matched. Which pair is correctly matched? That's a question for you. Good job. So I hope you are going to be in a position to answer this very question. Very basic question this is. So, in these definitions, what I have observed is a lot of students get confused. So many students do get confused, so you have to answer this question correctly. Okay. Now, let me tell you, what is the catch in this very question. Let's try to focus upon that particular thing as well. I can see a lot of people are giving the answer, which is great. Now, when we talk about the LFPR, that is percentage of the person in the labor force that is working or seeking work in the population. Yes, this is absolutely correct. When I talk about worker population, that is percentage of the employed person in the population. This is also correct. Got it? This is correct. But let me tell you one thing very much clear, that when we talk about the unemployment rate, what is unemployment rate? Unemployment rate is number of the person employed, that is fine, amongst not total population, no. It is amongst the labor force. So among the people in the labor force, among the people in the labor force. So this is why this is totally incorrect. So remember, unemployment rate is number of the persons unemployed divided by 1000 persons in the labor force. So it is not amongst the total population. So second one is totally incorrect. You eliminate the second one and you get to the C, which is the right answer. I hope it's absolutely clear now. Any doubts? I hope this idea is absolutely clear what I'm trying to give you, because this is a very important point we have to be understanding specifically. Got the point, everyone? So, perfect. So I'll just show you as well, don't worry. Remember, labor force participation rate is what? Labor force upon 1000 person in the population. Worker population is ratio is what? Number of the person employed upon 1000 person in the population. Unemployment rate is what? Number of the person unemployed upon 1000 person in the labor force. So denominator is changed. So here it is population, but here it is labor force. So that's why people get confused. Please keep it in your mind. What is labor force? So it is a form of the population which is willing and able to work. Got it? So people employed plus unemployed, they are a part of labor force. Everyone willing and able to work are the part of labor force. I hope it's absolutely clear. That's very much important, point which we have to be understanding. So I'm glad that these questions are helping you. Okay, let's move to the next question. Next question is again very important. Now we have got different committees and you have to tell me how do we match the following. How exactly can we match them? That is the question. So let's try to match them. That's a very basic question. So even if you have a bare minimum idea about these committees, you will be in a position to answer that. Got it? So remember, when we talk about, okay, Kelkar committee, which is very much important for tax reforms we talk about. So we attach C with 1. Then if we talk about Malhotra committee has done a lot of insurance reforms. So D2, that's why we have got C as the right answer over here. C is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. Remember this thing, that Narasimhan committee, no doubt about that, is banking reform. So B 4 we have to match, of course, and Rangarajan committee is related to divestment of the PSU. So C is the right answer. C is certainly going to be the right answer to this very question. Very important point this is, we have to look into. Got the point, bete? So you can have a look. So this is basically the explanation. These are 4 very important committees related to Indian economy. When we talk about Indian economy, very important committees. Question number 11, let's do it. Question number 11 says, which with reference to the Indian economy, you have to consider following statements. First is, if the inflation is too high, RBI is likely to buy the government securities. If the rupee is depreciating, RBI is likely to sell the dollars in the market. So which one do you think is correct? Have a look at this. Statement number 1 only, 2 only, both or none. Which of the following are correct? That's the question. Which statement is correct? Now think about, if the inflation is too high, there is a need to pull out or suck excess of rupee, and you have to pull out the excess of the rupee. You have to do what? You will sell the GSEC or sell the government security, not buy. So they are not going to buy the government security. This is incorrect. But yeah, if rupee is depreciating, RBI will sell the dollars in the market so that rupee is stabilized. So this way, rupee will be very much stable because there will be more dollars in the market. So this one is correct. So that's why here B is the right answer. Here in this question, B has to be the right answer. I hope you're understanding. So I can see a lot of people are saying B, which is absolutely correct. So very good. Rishabh, Arshdeep, Mandeep, Neet, Sandhavali, Nimrat, Rupinder, Suman, Manisha, all the people out there, very good. So B is certainly the right. I hope now you know why the first statement is incorrect. Because in this situation, you will not buy. Because if you buy, there will be more rupee in the market. We have to suck the rupee. That's why we have to sell the government securities. And the second one is fine. So if rupee is very much appreciating and we need to, bring it down, then we will be buying the, simply dollars, and that will be vice versa. But anyways, I hope this absolutely is clear. Question number 12 now goes on your screens. Which of the following is, now this is a very important question, let me tell you. Question is, which of the following indicator are not a part of global MPI but have been added to India's multidimensional poverty index? Focus on this question, then answer. Maternal health, bank account, child mortality and nutrition. I hope first of all you understand the question, then answer. Which one is absolutely the right answer? Good job. Read the question number 12 correctly, and then answer. I hope you are in a position to answer this question. Now these questions you are hardly going to find in any book because they are in a way very much unique. Good job. Now let me tell you one thing. When we talk about the international level, this thing, multidimensional poverty index, we have 10 indicators, but it does not include maternal health, and it also doesn't have this bank account thing. So 1 and 2 only has to be the right answer, B, because child mortality and nutrition to we'll have in the global as well. So this is a very important thing. So that's why answer is going to be B, which is absolutely correct. B is the right answer. So be very much clear. So this is the Indian one. So when we talk about this Indian, this index, multidimensional, it has maternal health and bank account access thing. But in international, you have nutrition, child mortality, schooling, everything you have, but you don't have these two things, that is maternal health and bank account access. In fact, here we have child mortality. In India, we have child and adolescent mortality also. So these are the 3 basic changes which we see. One is child mortality is replaced by child and adolescent mortality in India. Second is we don't have maternal health there in global index, and we don't have access to bank account. So in India, we have made these minor changes. This is very much important point we need to understand. I hope this point is absolutely clear. So you are supposed to be, in a position to answer these questions very much specifically. Got the point, everyone? Perfect. Now, moving ahead, Now these are, very important questions which I expect you all to be answering specifically. So this is Indian, this is global. So have a look that in India, what we have done. So we have basically added, maternal health and bank account, which was not there. So this is the point. This one is quite easy. What is the unemployment? What is unemployment due to the mismatch in the skill of the unemployed and the skill needed for the available jobs? Tell me. How do we look at it? Structural, cyclical, frictional, or disguised? How exactly do we answer this question? Tell me. So, mismatch of the skill. So, if we talk about cyclical, these are related to, recession and boom, like that. Frictional, of course, you leave a job and you're searching for another one. Disguises, more than required people are working. But when we talk about the skill mismatch, we have to pick structural unemployment, which is the right answer. Simple, very simple. This is A has to be the right answer to this question. So I'm sure that now you know that we have mismatch in the skill of the unemployed and the skill needed for an available job. So there's an IT job, and for that IT job, we have so many people who don't know basic coding. So that's why we say that skill mismatch is there. High skill mismatch is there. So that's why structural has to be the one. Would like to tell you a very interesting thing. When we talk about, the frictional and structural, so these are always present in any economy, because the economy is developing. You will have AI, you will have robotics. So their skill mismatch will be there. And frictional will be there because people will be searching for new job. They will be leaving old job. So remember this thing, that frictional and structural unemployments, they are known as natural rate of unemployment in any economy. So in every economy, frictional and structural will happen. And if we talk about frictional, structural and cyclical, these are very much formal kind of unemployments. So you will be seeing that, most of the time. So be very much clear. So these are very much organized group unemployment. Disguised and seasonal are very much unorganized group unemployment. This is all we look at. But anyways, if the question comes that which of the following are the natural rate of unemployment, you will say natural rate of unemployment is frictional and structural. So these are the ones we have to do. I hope this idea is clear. Very important this is. Now what is disguised? 3 people are working in a farm. Now 4th person is also joining them, or 5th person is joining them, but they are not giving any productivity. So 3 people were producing 100 kg of wheat. 5 people are also producing 100 kg of wheat. So these 2 extra people are disguised unemployed. This is how we look at it. I hope it's absolutely clear. And frictional, I hope you know that old job to new job, you're leaving that particular period. And this is cyclical. Recession happens, then recovery happens. So recession may unemployment is cyclical basically. So remember this very much clearly. Okay. Question number 14, let's talk about it. Which of the following will have elastic demand? Now this is a very interesting question. Matchbox, NCERT textbook, medicines, or air conditioners. Now what is elastic demand? That's also a question, but let's see how many of you can answer this one. Good job. Now again, this is a very basic question which you should be in a position to answer. Okay, so now we have some change in price. Now remember this thing. First of all, elasticity, how do we calculate? Now let me be very clear about that. You have to calculate the elasticity. How do you calculate that? Think about it. So price elasticity of demand, when I calculate the change in the quantity which is demanded upon change in the price. Okay. So if there is a price change, just imagine 10% is the price change, but change in the quantity demanded is 30% increase. So this is known as very much elastic. Now matchbox, matches tub, it is 1 rupees. Now it becomes 5 rupees or it becomes 50 paisa. Doesn't make much difference, right? You're not going to accumulate that. NCERT textbook, those who need that, they need that. Those who don't need that, they don't need that. Leave it. Medicines, if you need that, you will have that. It's a necessity, right? It's basically the thing for the people who need. But when we talk about the AC, the luxury item, if there is a 10% discount, the sale will shoot to a great extent. That is why it is an elastic good. So remember that AC is the right answer. Air conditioner is the right answer. iPhone is the right answer. So always remember this thing, when we talk about the elastic demand, this is how we have to calculate that. And I think I have told you in the class as well, everyone is aware of this particular point. All right. So please be clear about this thing. So this is how we look at the price elasticity of demand. We have to always understand this point. So be very much careful. The elastic demand goods are like soft drinks, cereals, clothing, electronics, even cars. Inelastic are electricity, cigarette, post-secondary education, gas, life-saving medicines. So this is how we look at these particular things. For example, the example of elastic good like AC, air conditioner. Now think about this thing. 10,000 is the price of AC, and at this very price we are seeing 10 ACs are being sold or 100 ACs are being sold. Okay, so this is clear. Now the price is somehow 5,000. So what is the decline? 50% off we are seeing. So now the AC which are being sold, they are going to increase from 100 to 200. 200 ACs are being sold. So remember, it's like this. So what are we seeing? The decline in the price is 50%, but the increase in the demand is 100%. So we can say it is 100 upon 50. So that is 2. So 2 is more than 1. That's why it is very much elastic. But if a goods, this elasticity is less than 1, that is inelastic. I'll give you an example of like drugs used for cancer. Essential drugs used for cancer. So that injection was for 10,000 rupees and 10 patients were using that. Okay. Now that injection is for 5,000 rupees, but now 12 people are using that. So you can see this is the graph. So we are seeing the dip of 50% price, but increase in the demand is only 20%. So demand increase is 20%, increase in the price is 50%. So that is 0.4. So it is between 0 to 1. That's why it is inelastic. Is that absolutely clear? So this is how you calculate that. I've told you multiple times. Got the point? So let's talk about question number 15 now. Next one. That's a question number 15 for the day. Have a look at, we have got 3 types of deficits and you have to give me the right answer. A, B, C, D. You have got the 4 options. So this is again a very interesting question. Primary deficit, fiscal deficit, revenue deficit. Give me the answer. Question number 15 for all of you. This is question number 15 for all of you. Those who have joined the session late, make sure you add this session to your like videos as well, so that later on as well you can use it for the revision purpose. Good job. Okay, let me talk about the primary deficit. This year in the UPSC exam also it was asked. Now when I talk about the primary deficit is basically fiscal deficit minus interest payments on previous borrowings. Always remember this thing. This is very important formula. So it has to be 1C. So if it is 1C, either it is C or either it is D, right? So we can easily eliminate this and this. All right. Now, if we talk about, just imagine revenue deficit. What is revenue deficit? It is actual total revenue expenditure, of course, upon revenue receipt. So revenue, you match. So 3A. So if it is 3A, we have to pick C as the right answer. Definitely C is the right answer. 3 or C is the right answer. And accordingly, fiscal deficit is excess of the total expenditure over total receipts, excluding the borrowings, of course. So remember this thing. This is a very important fact that fiscal deficit tells you about the borrowing requirements of the government. It tells you about the borrowing requirements of the government. This is a very important point. And primary deficit tells you about the loans taken by the previous government, that how much are they hampering the government now. That is what it is telling you. So ultimately, this actually is a very important aspect we are supposed to be understanding in our overall discussion. Got the point? So I hope this idea is clear. So C is the right answer. Okay. Question number 16 now. So 16 is similar question, but it's a different one. Question number 16. Okay. So tell me about this one. So you've got 4 options. How exactly do you look at it? ABCD. Now again, that's easy one. I've just told you that total expenditure minus receipts upon, that is excluding borrowings. What exactly is that? That is fiscal deficit. We all know that. So A3, you have to match A with the 3, and even if you do that, just A3 is giving you the answer, that is B, or 2 is the right answer. You can easily see that. And of course, revenue deficit is revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. And similarly, if we talk about fiscal deficit minus interest payments, that has to be the primary deficit. So C2 again. And of course, taxation, borrowing, printing money, that is deficit financing. We can say that. So B is the right answer to this question. Very important. So please be very much clear that you have to remember the formula of primary deficit. This is very much important for this year's examination. Fiscal deficit minus interest payments is very much important. And you have to remember that what exactly is the fiscal deficit? It is total expenditure minus total receipts excluding borrowings. This is very much important. You have to exclude the borrowings. Please remember this particular point. Revenue, it is very much easy to recall. Question number 17, let's do it. Okay. Let's move to the question number 17 now for the day. So the CRR or cash reserve ratio. Very important tool. So which one is correct about the CRR? A, B, C, D. Tell me. Also keep a track of how many questions you are marking correct and how many questions you are not able to do correct. Very important. Good job. CRR, this is a question about CRR. So if you know about the concept of SLR and CRR, this means you have understood the banking chapter, because these reserve ratios, they are asked every now and then. So it's a very important one. So we have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing. Good job. Okay. So now remember, if we have to understand this one, the share of the net assets that have to be kept in the liquid state, that is SLR. But when you talk about as a balance with the RBI, that is CRR. So of course, B is the right answer. And presently, how much is CRR? It is 4%. And how much is SLR? It is 18%. Nobody will ask you, but just have a basic idea about this thing. A basic idea can surely help you, do well in the exam. So I always suggest you to, have a bare minimum idea about these things as well. Got it? So B is certainly the right answer to this question. Okay. Now moving ahead, let's talk about the next question. That's a question number 18. That's quite easy. HDI, we have a HDI index, very important, UNDP comes up with the HDI index. Presently, India is having a rank of how much? 130 rank we have got. Important. Okay, which of the following are the indicators of HDI? Life expectancy, infant mortality rate, standard of living. We have the 3 parameters, right? So you have to tell me which one is the correct. Think about it. How exactly do you look at it? HDI index. So of course we have 3 indicators, no doubt. That is life expectancy, that's the first one, that is correct. We have standard of living, which is given to us by the per capita income, GNI per capita it is. So yeah, this is correct. But there is no infant mortality rate. In fact, we have education, expected year of schooling, mean year of schooling. So we have knowledge, schooling, mean year of schooling. So second is incorrect. But 1 and 3 is correct. So I'll go with D as the right answer. 1 and 3 are absolutely correct. So we have these 3 indicators as we can talk about: life expectancy at birth, expected and mean year of schooling, and GNI per capita. Please remember these 3 indicators of HDI, which are very much important. HDI index. And remember the India's rank also, which we have achieved 130 is the India's rank. That again is a very important point. So, if and when a question is there which is asked on the HDI, we all have to be, very much clear that, how India is faring well in the HDI. So we have been improving to a great extent, no doubt about that. And I'll be very much precise on that, it is not easy to do well in this particular index. Why? Because the basic problem is that when we focus on one parameter, we may ignore the another parameter also. So that actually is a big problem. And this year's HDA report has been very much important. Why? Because there is a proper, theme to it. So this year, the HDA report has got a proper theme related to AI. Artificial intelligence basically is very much important. A matter of choice, people and possibility in the age of AI. So please remember this very theme, people and possibility in the age of AI. So Iceland has been doing great and India has got 130 rank in this particular index we have to look into. Yeah, so we have improved 2 ranks, Chaitanya. So that's a good thing about it. Anyways, so don't worry, that will talk in the current affairs. This is basically economic class. 19th question, let's through it. Consider following statement with respect to comparison of the GDP and GNP. GNP is always greater than GDP. Foreign trade balance is one of the main differentiating factor between the GDP and GNP. Tell me what is the correct one. Think about it, then answer. What exactly is the right answer to this question? Good job. Think about it. GDP and GNP as we talk about. Now let me tell you one thing, whenever there's things that always, this is not the case. Not for every country. It all depends on the net factor income from abroad. So I won't say that it is always GNP is always greater than GDP. No, that's not a possibility, right? It can't happen. And foreign trade balance, it has got nothing to do with GDP, GNP. Let me tell you one thing. Ultimately, you can say net factor income from abroad, but trade balance is a totally different thing. That's a part of balance of payment aspect. So trade balance is not going to do anything with this. What is trade balance? Import and export of the goods we see, and then the difference we see to trade balance. So trade balance is related to import and export, but GDP and GNP is totally different thing. Are you getting that? So when we talk about the GDP is what? It is basically the market price of the goods and services being produced in a particular economy over a period of time. And in GDP, we are not seeing that who is producing. Whatever is produced between in India, we are seeing that it is a part of GDP. But when I talk about the GNP, there we see that who is producing. If any Indian is producing outside India, we'll consider that as a part of GNP. So that is the thing. So trade balance is not going to be a part. So I would say both are incorrect. So D is the right answer. Are you getting this point or not? Very important aspect this is we have to look into. Very, very important point we are basically looking into. Got it? I hope I'm able to make some sense out here. So this is quite an important one. So I've told you that ultimately it is all dependent on net factor income from abroad, and trade balance ultimately is not going to be there. The difference is net factor income from abroad, not the trade balance. So both are incorrect. Got the point, bete? I hope the idea is clear to you guys. Question number 20, very interesting this is. PK Mohanty committee basically aimed at dash. So what is it aiming at? This was in a lot of news, so let's talk about this. PK Mohanty committee. So you can see, this revision helps you a lot in understanding a lot of things. Okay, so this is a very factual question. Let me see how many of you can answer that, then I'll give you the right answer. Firstly, let me see how many of you are able to answer this question. PK Mohanty committee. Good job. Okay, so it is related to reviewing the structure of the private sector banks. That who is the owner of the private sector bank and who is having what equity in that. So it was related to that. The shareholding pattern of the private sector banks in India. That is what it is all about. Anyways, question number 21, let's do it. Now this is quite easy. which of the following has highest weightage in the CPI, that is Consumer Price Index. So half of the marathon is done because total 40 questions are there. So 21 question we are doing. So next 45 minutes we'll be wrapping it all. Don't worry. So 20 questions done, 21 question we are into. When we talk about the CPI, that is Consumer Price Index, which one is having the highest weightage? That is the question. So of course it is F&B, that is food and beverages. Always remember this thing. A is the right answer. So F&B is having the highest weightage when we talk about the CPI released by the Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation. Very important this is. So we have to be understanding this fact. So this is a very easy question. Always remember this thing, that F&B is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. I hope this idea is clear. Yeah. Mr. Fact Dedication, whoever you are, please don't spam, else you will be banned. Clear? Okay. Chalo. So this idea is clear. 21st question done. 22nd question. Now that's easy. Again, Sensex is a popular index of BSE. It is measured based on how many blue chip companies on the BSE. 20, 30, 25 or 10. Very easy question this is. So I never tolerate the nuisance in the comment section. The moment anybody comes that, he'll be going straight forward. Okay. Sensex is about 30. B is the right answer. And similarly, Nifty is about 50. So Nifty is by whom? Nifty is by the National Stock Exchange, NSE. So Nifty has 50 companies into it and Sensex is having only 30 companies. So always be very clear about this particular thing, because ultimately you have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing as well. Is that clear? All of you. Okay. Anybody who can tell me about the starting of the Sensex? If I talk about, Sensex starting year, this can be important. It's established, well, it was established when? When was Sensex established? The Bombay Stock Exchange is from 1875, I know that. But Sensex came when? It was 1st January 1986. We saw the start of Sensex. So 1986, you can remember, this is very much important point we need to understand. Got it? So such questions are asked. So be very much precise about these points. And if I talk with the Nifty, Nifty came in the year 1996. So way after. Around April 1996, it came. Got the point? So be very much clear. So difference, Sensex is having 30 companies, it came in 1986. Nifty is having 50 companies, it came in 1996. After 10 years of Sensex, the index Nifty was introduced. So very good. I can see a lot of students are, giving details in the comment section, which actually is great to see. And you have to be, very much clear upon these basic points. Because let me tell you, in exam, what happens is sometimes the question comes, and if you are not aware of this particular point, so you will be not able to answer, because these are very factual questions. These actually are very much factual questions. If I talk about just one basic detail, National Stock Exchange. National Stock Exchange was established in 1990s, no doubt. But when it came up, when I talk about the National Stock Exchange, it started its operation when? Now, let me tell you one thing. When you talk about the NSE, it was established in 1992, but it began its operation in 1994. So if I talk about its establishment, so it was established in the year 1992 only. Yeah, no doubt it started its operation later on. And if I talk about the Bombay Stock Exchange, that is from 1875. Very old. Oldest in Asia, in fact, I would say. Bombay, BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, the Lal Street, that is 1875. Very old. So I hope now these points are clear. So if somebody talks about the Bombay Stock Exchange, yes, it's 1875. If somebody talks about Sensex, it's 1986. If somebody talks about NSE, it established in 1992, and Nifty was started as an index in 1996. So I've given you all the relevant details which are important from the examination point of view. Got the point? Okay. So let's now move ahead to the next question. So now here we are not just for the question and answer session. Here we are for a bigger cause, and the bigger cause is to clear the examination with the flying colors. And for that we have to do a bit of extra hard work also. Always be very much clear on this aspect. If we are not doing this extra hard work, then we are not doing justice to this particular cause. Okay, moving ahead. Now this is an easy one. Question number 23. Which 5-year plan gave emphasis on poverty removal, that is Garibi Hatao, explicitly? So which 5-year plan explicitly said that we have to remove the poverty from India? Garibi Hatao. That's a question. So it was a plan in 1970s, 1974 to 1978. Very important plan we call it, and that was a 5th 5-year plan. Be very much clear. 5th 5-year plan is the one which focused on this particular idea. So Srimati Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister at that time. So D is the right answer. Garibi Hatao is related to this. Easy. Next one, 24th. Which of the following is incorrectly matched? First 5-year plan, second, third, fourth. Matched incorrectly. Tell me. Now you have to quickly answer such questions. These are the questions which are comparatively very easy questions. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Good job. Should be able to answer this one. So now this is a very basic question. Why? Because first 5-year plan, if I talk about Harry-Domar model, it's fine. Focus on the agriculture irrigation. Second, Mahalanobis, focus on industry. Third is Gadgil Yojana, yes. But then the odd one out is fourth one, because fourth is certainly not related to the Solo Swan model. So this is incorrect, and that's why D has to be the right answer. Got it? So I think this is a very basic question. So no explanation needed. Factual question this is. Okay, question number 25. Very interesting. How many pair are correctly matched? So there are 4 pair in the question. You have to tell me how many pair are correctly matched. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Tell me. With reference to physical capital in the economy, you have to tell me the options. So UPSC's previous year question it is. Very much important question this is. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Good job. Okay. Now, when we talk about farmer's plow, let me tell you, farmer's plow is not a working capital. It is not getting consumed. It is a fixed capital. Computer, yes, it is a fixed capital, no doubt. Yarn, used by the weaver, it is not a fixed capital. It is working capital. Petrol, it's a working capital, yes. So working capital is something which is getting consumed in the process. Fixed capital is you buy and forget that. You keep on using that again and again. So I would say that we have got 2 correct pair. That is computer is a fixed capital, yes. Petrol is a working capital, yes. But these are incorrect. Farmer plow is not a working capital and yarn is not a fixed capital. So that's why we have got 2 pair correctly matched, that is 2 and 4. So only 2 are correctly matched. So B is the right answer. B is going to be the right answer to this question, bete. Please be very much clear. What is a fixed capital and what is a working capital? Fixed capital is something you buy. It's a capital asset and you keep on using that. And working capital is something you buy and it keeps on consumed. It's being consumed. Petrol is getting consumed. Yarn is getting consumed. So yarn cannot be fixed capital. Yarn is a working capital. So it is getting consumed in the process. This is what we need to understand. All right. I am hopeful that now I am able to make some sense out of it, because these are important questions. Very, very important questions. These are, we have to be understanding very much specifically. Got it? Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question number 26 will be moving ahead. Which of the following activities of the RBI is considered as a part of sterilization? Sterilization is the question. A, B, C, D. Tell me. Which activity is a part of sterilization of RBI? Now, this is a very interesting question. Let me tell you, and you have to be answering this precisely. Part of sterilization. Good job. Sterilization. Now, when I talk about, this idea of sterilization, let me be very clear that you have to focus upon one very important aspect. And what is that? Sterilization, sterilization basically means what? They are in a way conducting the open market operations. So, what exactly is happening? You have to understand that RBI conducts sterilization by engaging in the open market operation which involve buying and selling of the government securities. Now, we are basically managing the money supply. For example, if there is a heavy foreign capital inflow, foreign currency enters into India, RBI will buy the foreign currency to stabilize rupee. So, this will increase the domestic market, money supply. So, this is how they basically do that. So, sterilization is basically to neutralize the impact of foreign currency intervention in the domestic money supply. So, in a way, you just need to understand that sterilization will include what? Sterilization is going to include these basic things only, that we are buying and selling the securities. That is what sterilization is all about. Got it? I am hopeful that now you will be in a position to understand this point very much precisely. Very basic question this is. All right. Okay. Moving ahead. Question number 27. Consider the following markets. How many are included in the capital markets? We have got 4 markets here. Government bond market, call money market, treasury bill market, stock market. Tell me, how many? Think about it. Good job. So that's a very basic question which I expect you guys to be answering precisely. Now, when we talk about, call money market and treasury bill market, let me tell you, they are about less than 1 year tenors. So, they are both a part of primary market, or I would rather say they are part of basically money market. Money market. But government bonds or even the stock market, they are a part of the capital market. So, of course, only 2 has to be the right answer. B is the right answer to this question. B. So, that is, 1 and the 4, they are the right answers. And call money market is overnight. Call money, term money, all these kind of monies, basically, they are very much short term in nature. And stock market and the government bond market, they are certainly long term in nature, which we have to answer. So, treasury bill is less than 1 year, but government bonds are more than 1 year. Okay. So, this is very much clear. Question number 28, let's do it. Focus on these assets. Now, when we talk about these particular assets, brand recognition, inventory, intellectual property, mailing list of clients. All right. So, which of the following are intangible investments? Which are intangible investments? That's my question. Intangible investments. Now, what is tangible? So, tangibles are basically very much physical. They can be measured very much easily, like all the machine, inventory, even the bonds and all, that is very much tangible. So, let me tell you, inventory, like we talk about, this is very much tangible. So, everything which is in your godown, you can easily see that. Are you getting it? But if we talk about intellectual property, which you've built over a period of time, or your brand recognition, which is in the mind of the people, that is intangible. So, let me tell you, the second you will be eliminating first of all. And when we talk about this thing, one you have to pick, of course. So, of course, you can pick B as the right answer because you have to pick one always, but you can't pick the second one. So, second eliminated, but one has to be there. So, 1, 3, 4 is the right answer. Be very much clear. Brand recognition, intellectual property, even the mailing list of the clients, these are the intangible investments. Is that clear to you guys? Everyone, very important this is. And if I talk about machine, if I talk about inventory, computers, the factory, everything that is tangible. Intangible is what? Intangible is basically non-physical assets. So, you have built over a long term of time, over a long period of time, you have built that. That is what is intangible. You can't touch and feel that. Tangible, you can touch and feel. Like in art and culture, we study about intangible art and tangible art. Tangible is what? Tangible is monuments, forts, temples, But intangible is like dance, music, you can't touch and feel. Got it? So that is how it is. So remember this very much clearly. Intangible are non-physical assets used over a long term, and they are often, intellectual assets as a result of difficult, long-term process you have built that, like patents, brand recognition, all these things. So these are intangible in nature. I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys, all of you. So these are very basic things, but they are very much important as well. Okay. The main objective of the 12th 5-year plan, you have to tell me. Now that's an easy one, 29. So 11 more questions to go. 11 more questions to go, everyone. Please answer. So when we talk about, 11th 5-year plan, the only key factor was sustainable. So sustainable they were using, of course. So it was faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth. So remember this thing, reduce unemployment was not at all the thing. Inclusive, sustainable, but faster we have to include. And this one, so of course, D has to be the right answer. It is certainly faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth. So D is the right answer, very basic. So remember, faster, more inclusive, sustainable is for 12th, and towards faster, more inclusive is 11th. So what is the difference between 11th and 12th 5-year plan? That there is a difference of sustainable word. So in 11th 5-year plan, we are not having sustainable word, but in 12th 5-year plan, we are having the word sustainable. That's the biggest difference. So be very much clear that D has to be the right answer. Because of the word sustainable, we have to pick D as the right answer. Got the point? Question number 30, easy one. So 30th question says, NABARD was established on the recommendations of which of the following? Tell me. So it was 1982. NABARD was established. So basically the recommendations of Sivaraman committee. C is the right answer. Very important this is. NABARD has been established. Got it? A big boost to the agriculture finance it has given. So I hope you are absolutely aware of this fact that Sivaraman committee is the one which has established. So basically Sivaraman committee is from 1979. It was the recommendations of Sivaraman committee which has given us the beautiful institution, very important institution, NABARD. So Sivaraman committee is the right answer. 10 more questions to go. So you'll be getting it all in the PDF, so don't worry. Question number 31. Which of the following has the highest weightage? I think we have already done that, so I'll skip that. So, okay, F&B you can see is around 46%. Food and beverage is having around 46% weightage in the CPI. We have to understand this point. Anyways, question number 32 says, Phillips curve is a curve which the increase in rate of wages is against what? In which rate of the wage increase is against, it's plotted against what? Unemployment, inflation, agriculture production or employment. Very important this is. Phillips curve I'm talking about. So let's see how many of you can get it right. Something like this. So here we have the wage increase or wage inflation. What do we have here? We have here the unemployment rate. Very good. Unemployment rate is always plotted here. So A is the right answer. So A, B, C, D. So here A is the right answer, of course. So we have to pick A as the right answer. Very important point. Is that clear? So this is the one we have to look into. Moving ahead, 33rd question says, which of the following measures can be adopted to control inflation in a particular country or in a particular economy? Selling securities in the open market, faster repayment of the internal public debt, increase in the income tax. Tell me, which one is correct? Which of the following is absolutely correct? Now, let me tell you one thing. If you have to control inflation, we have to understand that selling of the government securities will do what? It will suck the money from the market. Increase in the income tax, of course, is going to reduce the purchasing power of the people. But faster repayment of the internal public debt will increase the money in the hands of the people. So remember, it has to be C, which is the right answer. 1 and 3 is going to be the right answer to this question. Very important point this is. C is going to be the right answer. So 33rd, C is the right answer. So it's eliminate this and this and this. Question number 34. This is very interesting question. In which of the following sectors FDI is not allowed in Indian economy? That's a very important one. In the cigar manufacturing, in defense, in atomic energy, in the lottery and gambling activities. So what do you think is the right answer? Tell me. I think this is a very logical kind of a question, but still I would see just more 6 questions to go. 6 questions to go only. That's a question number 34 already. Okay, so we all know in the defense FDI is allowed. All right. So the question is about in which FDI is prohibited. So let's eliminate 2, eliminate 2, eliminate 2. Okay. Either it is 1, 3 or it is 1, 3, 4. So let's see 4th statement. In lottery and gambling or casinos, is FDI allowed? No, it is not allowed. Okay. In atomic energy, it is not allowed. In cigarette, BD manufacturing, it is not allowed. So 1, 3 and 4. So of course, C is going to be the right answer. So in various activities, it is not at all allowed. Always remember this thing. So in the lottery business, it is not allowed. In gambling, betting, casinos, it is not allowed. In chit funds, it is not allowed. In the Nidhi company, it is not allowed. In the real estate business or the consultation of the farmhouse, in construction farmhouse, it is not allowed. Cigar, cigarettes and all tobacco related thing, it is not allowed. So I hope this absolutely is clear. So these are the major areas where the FDI is not allowed. These are the prohibited sectors in India we have to understand. So this question can very well be asked in the exam. Okay. Question number 35 says, RBI was established on the recommendation of which of the following committee? Again, a very basic question. Should be able to answer that. It was Royal Commission on Indian Currency and Finance. What was the other name of that? Royal Commission on Indian Currency and Finance, which is also known as Hilton-Young Commission. Very easy. It is Hilton-Young Commission, which is the right answer to this question. So I'm hopeful that you're able to answer this. But a Lee Commission is different. It is Hilton-Young only. Okay, it's not Lee, it's Hilton-Young Commission. This is quite easy. So you can have a look at this report, Indian Currency and Finance. So basically, it was established on the recommendation of Royal Commission. That is Hilton-Young Commission. So 1935, it's basically starting the functioning. So RBI Act is from 1934, but the RBI is being established in 1935. This actually is the point everybody do get confused about. So ultimately, you have to understand that when has RBI been established? That is 1st of April, because RBI Act, let me tell you, see, no doubt RBI Act is from 1934. It is absolutely correct. But RBI functioning has started from 1935. I hope it's clear. 1st April 1935, RBI is starting its functioning. Yeah, RBI Act is from 1934, no doubt about it. Yeah, Lee Commission is for civil services. Absolutely. Got the point? Let's move to the next question. So this is question 35. 5 more questions to go. Buck up. Price elastic demand is calculated as, so I've just explained that. Tell me, how do you calculate price elasticity of demand? It is change in quantity which is demanded upon change in the price of that particular commodity. So on numerator, you have quantity demanded change, denominator of change in the price. So of course, the answer has to be B, which is the right answer. B absolutely is the right answer to this question. The answer is B, which is the correct one. So that's quite an important one. It is absolutely B, which is the right answer. Got it? Okay. Moving ahead. Now that was easy one, very factual. Next question says 37th. Now we have 3 statements. CPI is released by the Ministry of Stats. The current base year of CPI is 2012. CPI measures change in the price of the goods excluding the services. So tell me which one is correct. So you have 3 statements, 1, 2 and 3. You have to give the right answer. What exactly is the right answer according to you? Tell me. What is the right answer to this question? Now, if we talk about CPI, it measures the price of the goods plus services. It does not exclude that. So third statement is incorrect. I eliminate the third statement. I get automatically A as the right answer. So A is going to be the right answer because third is eliminated. So you eliminated the third statement and you're getting 1, 2 as the correct one. Are you getting this point? So remember this thing, that CPI will always include services. It is not going to exclude services. Yeah, WPI excludes service. If the question was on WPI, you would have said yes, it excludes the services. But CPI will never be excluding the services. That's a bare minimum thing we have to understand. CPI is never going to be excluding services. This is the point we have to understand. Got it? So base year is of course 2012. We have to know that. And CPI will capture the price of the education, health, amusement, services, everything. WPI does not capture the change in the services. So be very much clear about this thing. 38. Now 3 more questions to go. Arrange the following groups in descending order as their weight is in the WPI. Fuel and power, primary articles and manufacturing products. Tell me. You have to arrange them in the decreasing weight. So WPI. New Upasana, it's 2012 only. That's why I put the article of the PIB, as you can see. So when we talk about the WPI, it has manufactured product that is there on the top. Certainly. And if it is on the top, we have the primary article, then fuel and power is the least. So B is the right answer. B has to be the right answer to this question. Be very much clear. So let me show you. Have a look. Manufactured product 64%, primary article 23%, fuel and power 13%. So this gives you a breakup of WPI, wholesale price index. So you have to remember that. So highest is manufactured product, that is 64%. On second we have 23%, that is the primary articles, and fuel and power is 13% only. That is for the wholesale price index we have to understand. Got it? Question number 39, let's do it. Second last question for the day. Question number 39. Which of the following is issued by the commercial bank? Just this one. Tell me. Promissory notes, commercial papers, treasury bills, or certificate of deposits? Very important question this is. Give me the right answer. Which exactly is the right answer to this question? Good job. That's the second last question of the day. This is the second last question. So if we talk about the commercial papers, basically that is by the corporates mainly, or some financial institution can also do that. That's fine. Promissory notes are by the individuals and the businesses. Treasury bills, basically, government will do through RBI and all. It will happen. Commercial banks are not involved in the treasury bills. So there is only one thing which commercial bank can do, that is certificate of deposit, CDs. So commercial banks and some financial institutions can issue certificate deposits. Very much important. So let me tell you one thing. According to the new rules, eligible issuers are of course commercial banks. Even regional rural banks and small finance banks are also going to be issuing the certificate of deposits. This is very much important according to the 2021 circular of RBI. Earlier, regional rural banks were not allowed, but now they are allowed. Upasana, that's 11, 12 only. Let me just show you for WPI. See, 11, 12 basically is WPI and CPI is 2012 only. Okay. I hope this point is absolutely clear. So according to this June 2021 circular, we can see that now certificate deposit can be issued by regional rural banks as well, which was not allowed earlier. Okay. Last question for the day. The Monetary Policy Committee maintained a hawkish stand on the interest rates. What is hawkish in this context? Tell me. Meaning of the hawkish. Interest rates were decreased, interest rates were increased, interest rates were kept unchanged, or money supply was increased. hawkish. How do you look at it? Whenever I say hawkish, I always say hawkish is related to hike. And what is hike? Hike means increase. And on the other side, dovish is related to decrease. Decrease means to decrease, of course. So hawkish means you cannot have decrease, you cannot have unchanged, you cannot have money supply is not increased, but interest rates will be increased. So therefore, we have to pick B as the right answer. Interest rate increased, that is hiked, that is hawkish. Interest rate decreased, that is dovish. Very easy this is. So hawkish means contractionary monetary policy and dovish is expansionary monetary policy. So B is the right answer. Please be very much clear. In hawkish, that is contractionary monetary policy. We are increasing interest rates. We are raising the reserve requirements. In dovish, we are decreasing the interest rate. We are reducing the reserve requirements. That is CRR, SLR are also dipping. So be very much clear. I am drawing a line. So in dovish, it is expansionary monetary policy. A rate cut is going to happen. In hawkish, rate hike is going to happen. It's a hawkish policy, contractionary monetary policy. So be very much clear. A lot of people get confused in that. You don't have to get confused in this particular aspect. Very important this is. You have to have a bare minimum idea on these lines very much clearly. Is that clear to you guys, everyone? Yep. So I am 100% sure about one thing at least, that now from this discussion, you are able to at least have a decent level of understanding that, how you're supposed to go about it and how we have to, understand the nitty-gritties which are involved. Because ultimately, let me tell you, economy is not about ratta. Economy is all about understanding. There are few things we have to cram, but ultimately, you are supposed to have a decent level of understanding. That is actually very much important. Trust me on that. And if you are developing that particular point in you, trust me, you are going to go a long way in your exam. That actually is a fact. So we have done 40 questions today, which is actually not a bad thing. In 1.5 hours, in 90 minutes, we have done 40 questions in total, which I feel is a great achievement for you guys, not for me. 40 questions done. And 40 questions, they were very much mixed in nature. There were some factual questions, as I told you in the starting. There were some conceptual questions from different topics. We had different questions. So which I feel is actually a great thing for you for the revision purpose. So thank you so much, Anukriti, Rajiv, Suman, Rajiv, SK Rana. So I am hopeful that this session has added a lot of value to your revision, because see, revision is the key. So if the revision is nice, then everything is good. So, and thank you so very much for your time and patience that you stood throughout the session. Okay. Thank you, Rajiv, Suman, SK Rana, Upasna, thank you so much. Rishabh, Bandeep, thank you, ji. Civil Services Study, thank you so much. Hanji, Civil Services, he is like my brother only. Okay. Actually, this initiative has been started by me and Sharad sir. So we both are there. Vicky Pawar, thank you so much. Thank you, Nimrat. Thank you, Neet. Thank you so much, Mandeep. So everyone stood till the very end, and this actually means a lot for me. And ultimately, these sessions will be going on for quite some time. Over the next period of 2 weeks, continuously you'll have these sessions at 8 p.m. every evening. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Ankur. Chalo. So this brings me to the end of this very session, which I feel that has been great for your overall revision. And that's it from my side. So you'll be getting the on the Telegram, you'll be getting the PDF. So don't worry about the PDF, everyone. And for those who are preparing for the defense examination, they can join the Defence Pariksha Telegram channel. The comment is there is in the pinned comments, and you can download the app as well, that is known as Defence Pariksha. So that's very much it from my side, and thank you so very much for the session. I'll see you all in the next session. Till then, take care. Jai Hind.